come down to lay in a half Shavasana or full Shavasana if you really want to. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Walk your feet like a little bit wider than your hips and let your feet knock towards each other. And I'm going to bring my arms up over my head. I need a little opening for my chest and shoulders, but if that doesn't work for you, hands on belly or even down by the sides, wherever you can get comfortable. Give those last little wiggles. Welcome yourself into class. I give you a big warm welcome to Y-dub dubs. That's what I like to call yoga with weights. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale and let that settle you down into your practice. Take a couple full deep breaths. Right away tuning into that breath. Right away tuning into your body. Just do a scan on your own and see if you could let go a little bit. So I just noticed that I was gripping my hands. I'm just going to really soften my hands, relax my tailbone. I noticed I was pressing that into the earth. So is there something in your body that you can feel you're clinging or tightening that you could release? We had a beautiful day for Earth Day yesterday, and then Mother Nature brought us some hail today. So we're gonna also warm up the core this morning because of that hail, not just because of bread. Let's warm up the body for a few more moments in stillness using Ujjayi breathing. So heated breath through the back of the throat, into the belly, expanding on the inhales. Fill up as much as you can. Exhale, kind of force that exhale through the back of the throat, feeling that warm air tickle and massage the back of the throat on the way out. Take about 3 more rounds of full deep breath. How does your body feel this morning? Where's your mind at? Connect the two. Feel the body move as you breathe. Now keep those really full, deep inhalations and exhalations. Walk your feet now so that they're right in line with your hips. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face down. We're going to do a little bit of movement to start right off. Inhale, just slowly lift the hips. Do not force. Don't even go to your fullest expression. Just up a little bit and down a little bit with your exhale. Link the movement with the breath, starting to engage arms pressing down into the floor, palms down into the floor. Trying to warm up right away, really pressing down into the feet while you're moving up and while you're moving down. And let's get the arms involved so we can warm those up as well. Inhale, arms come up, palms facing, all the way down if it's okay for your shoulders. Just above the shoulders, stopping there is also fine. Hips move at the same time as arms, linking the movement with your breath. Making sure knees are not wobbling from side to side. They're stable, pointing over first and second toe. Let's do 2 more. Oh, good. I'm already starting to get a little warm. When you get your hips set down on the floor, second time, squeeze your knees to your chest. Knees stay a little bit apart so we can roll the ankles around and get some movement into the feet. And let's bring one hand on top of each knee and start to rotate the knees in big opposite directions. So it's always directed to go out, forward, around, and in at the same time. I always like to do mine in opposite directions. So one was moving forward and one was moving back. It doesn't really matter, it's kind of just personal preference. We're only looking for big movements in the hip joints, so you do that the best way that it supports you. And do that in the opposite direction a couple times. twist into the spine, one that stretches out hips. We're gonna cross the left ankle over top of right. Just leave your hips where they are right now because we're not super warmed up. Drop the knees towards that right side. They might not make it all the way down depending on how tight the hips are this morning. Open your arms up, look over that left shoulder. Take a couple deep breaths in, try to relax your shoulders and hands. Last breath. And take that up towards the ceiling. Straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling and just point and flex that toe for a couple of rounds just to lengthen out the back of this left leg. And if it feels appropriate, you could pull this left leg in just a little bit more. And then left foot to the floor, right ankle over left thigh, hips stay where they are. Just let the legs fall over towards that left side. Arms out, gazing over right shoulder for a couple breaths. Soften. 2, maybe 3 more breaths depending on how deep or shallow your breath is this morning. And ready, guide knees to the center, right foot up, point and flex. When you flex, really press your heel up and lengthen that leg straight up towards the ceiling. If it feels appropriate, hands can grab the back of this right leg for a few breaths. Now we're going to place this right foot on the floor beside the left. Tuck your chin, peel your head, neck, shoulders up off your mat. Feet are planted. If you would like to, grab a hold of the weights. Palms face up. We're just going to go from side to side a couple of times. Keep a nice tuck in your chin. You could do this without the weights. 3, 2. Okay, last time. Squeeze the knees into your chest. Gonna keep a hold of this weight in your right hand. Bring your left hand behind your head to support. We're gonna start with this right arm up. You're going to lengthen the right leg out and bring that right arm behind you. A little bend in that right elbow. Come back up and out. So we're going to start with that movement because we're adding a little bit of brain gym in here this morning. Only go so far over your head with that weight that it feels all right for that shoulder. If you want to add on, when you straighten the arm and the leg, you're going to bring this left elbow up towards that right side. And back down. If it feels appropriate, this right arm can go all the way down on both sides. Feel free to leave out this left arm. Feel free to leave out right arm or right leg. Modify to what you need to do. Last little piece of the puzzle, maybe we start to get the left leg involved, straightening and bending. So everything is moving as an option or nothing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, last one. We're gonna bring the feet down to the floor, arms out wide, grab a hold of those weights, press the feet down into the mat, a little bit of bridge work in between. Inhale, hips lift, arms up overhead with a fly. Exhale, hips down, arms down. Then go of that core work for a moment, but still finding a nice big warm up. Keep a little bend in both your elbows. Okay, those full deep breaths in and out the nose. Last one. Okay, now put the weight down in the right hand behind your head. This left arm's going up towards the ceiling, knees into the chest. Start with straightening that left arm and straightening the left leg. Up and down. And if you don't do anything other than this with head on the floor, totally fine. You can also leave out the arm or the leg. If you're adding on, when you straighten, peel up with that right elbow and back down. Left arm can go all the way down overhead and all the way down by your side. Oh, this one's got me, brain gym. Really gotta think about it. Okay, maybe right leg starts to move too. Yeah, this one will warm you up fast. Five, 4, 3, 2, last one. Feet down on the floor. Same motion with the arms out wide in that fly up overhead, hips lift, feet in line with hips. Come back down with hips and arms. Okay, if we're feeling nice and warm, I'm gonna give the option to bring the feet together, knees together, thighs together. Maybe walk the feet a little closer, coming up onto the balls of the feet while you're lifting and lowering the hips. If that's a bad idea, don't do it. If it's a good idea, we'll lift the left leg up and down with the arms. Lots of ways to add on if you would like to, or ignore what I say, because I can't see most of you. That left leg is lifting and lowering, point your toes, keep that leg engaged. 2 more if that left leg is going. And if you've got the left leg going, replace it with the right. Right lifts and lowers. Point those right toes. Maybe hips are just lifting and lowering, maybe hips stay lifted and right leg is lifting and lowering. Take it to where you want to take it for 3, 2, last one. Feet down on the floor, drop those weights beside you, hug knees to chest, deep breath in, deep breath out. Little rocks from side to side. Okay, we should be nice and warm now. We're gonna rock and roll forward and back, hands behind the thighs. Landing all the way up to boat pose. I'm gonna keep my hands behind my thighs for now, really lift the chest. Lift the legs up, option to straighten the legs if you would like to, option to tip tap the feet, option to bring your arms out beside you. 3, 3, I'm trying to take my sweater off. 2, oh, can you take your sweater off in boat pose? I don't know. Oh, and 1, bring your feet to a cross, one ankle in front of the other. And then just find a nice forward fold. Let's get into those hips a little bit more. If you can only just bring the head down in a little fold, that's totally fine. We're gonna find a nice fold and a couple deep breaths into the shoulders. Coming back up to a seated position, grab a hold of your weights. We're gonna take the left arm out towards the side, right palm faces up. We're gonna take it into a side bend over towards this left side. So if you don't have lots of space, this left hand can be plant and then just a side bend can look like this. If you've got lots of space, we can start to bend that elbow down towards the floor. Then we're gonna roll this right arm down and over. Chest stays open, so I'm not curling in, lifting my chest up and open. Gaze can be up at the ceiling or down at the floor. Let's do 3, 2, all the way up. Let's take it over to the other side. Drop that right weight, right hand on the floor. Left arm comes up and over, either here or bend that left elbow down. We'll come into our side bound row down and back up. I like my gaze down on the floor when I'm using weights, but it can also be up towards the ceiling if that feels better. Breathe into the belly. You could also do this without the weights and it would probably still be hard. Let's do 3, 2, last one. Come all the way back up to seated. We're gonna cross the legs in the opposite direction, lengthen, and then fold forward. Could be just a little fold again, or wherever you can get to for a couple deep breaths into the shoulders. And then as you come back up, I'm just gonna turn so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna pop back into a down dog. So hands plant on the floor, really super wide fingers. It'll lift your hips up, curl your toes under, lift your knees so the toes are on the floor, and use that little bit of a sprinting action up and back and land in downward facing dog. Let's pedal at the heels. A little sway in the hips. And we're gonna baby step the feet up to the top of the mat. Come into a ragdoll, interlace your hands, roll out your wrists, shake your head from side to side, let go. And then rolling up halfway, stop when you get to your thighs, turn your fingertips inwards. We're doing our cat-cow from here. Inhale, belly pushes open, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, round and roll all the way in. Inhale to that cow spine. Exhale to cat. Use a little bit of a grip on the legs to get the spine to open, so you're kind of pushing into the legs with the hands. Let's do one more. Then roll yourself all the way down. We're gonna grab the weights, lift them up to your shins. Stop at the shins when you've got a nice flat back. So normally we come to here when we have a flat back, push the hands in. We're gonna be holding the weights when we get to the shins. Tuck your chin, keep your flat back. Start with lifting the heels and lowering the heels. Okay, so this is our first movement, and if you don't do anything other than this, that's totally fine. Let's do that a few more times to warm up the calves and ankles. Keep that nice flat back. Then if you would like to, we're gonna bring those elbows into the sides and add bicep curls here. Maybe arms come all the way back. Maybe they just stop at those elbows. Maybe you leave out the arms. Chin tucks, flat back. Engage your core, belly button to spine. Let's do 10 more. That's a good number. 9, 8, 7, 6, you get the picture. I'll count in my head. 3. Last one. Oh yeah, forward fold, drop those weights. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach your arms up over your head, interlace the hands, extend that index finger, let's lean over towards the right side. Back to center, lean to left. Go a few more times from side to side, loosening up tension. Last time over to that left side, come back to center and forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, come back into your plank and pause in your plank. Tuck that belly button in towards your spine. Bring your body weight forward and back a couple of times. Put the knees on the floor if you need to. This is really just to get into those wrists. Let's pause with the shoulders as far over those wrists as you can and lower down with your first chaturanga. Lift up into your back bend. Oh yeah, up and back down dog. Pedal out your feet again. Okay, I'm gonna demo this from tabletop first. but the goal is this twisted down dog. But if you want to do it from your tabletop, you're going to bring the knees down, grab a hold of the weight in the left hand, and then you're twisting this left hand over towards the right side, and you're going to lift it up to your hip and back down. So you can do it on that tabletop, or from your downward dog. This weight's coming here, and then up, and then down. Straight arm. Deep breaths. So my palm is facing inwards at first, for like 3 more. And then we're gonna turn it outwards. Up, down, up, down. 3, 2, last one. If you can, don't put this left hand on the floor. We're gonna come forward and drop the left knee on the mat, lengthen that right leg back a little bit more, and then we're gonna row with this left hand. I'm gonna grab my other weight in my right hand, too. So right foot back, rows with this left hand. Gazing down at the floor, belly button, spine, deep full breaths. Maybe this right foot lifts up. Flex the toes towards the face if it is. 10, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot's going in between the hands however you need to get it there. I'm going to step it up, lengthen this left leg back. Grab a hold of both of your weights. You're now up in a low lunge. You're going to grab the weights and just start with easy bicep curls while straightening this right leg. Bicep curl and back. Hopefully you find that you get more space and you can scooch that right foot forward a little bit. I don't know if you can see me better, but I'm also lifting my left or my right foot right up off the mat for like that little hamstring stretch when I come back. This could be terrible on your left knee. Don't do it if it is. Just hold your low lunge if it's really bad on that left knee. Belly button to spine. Coming down in towards that lunge now, we're going to curl under these left toes, lift the left knee. Palms are going to face inwards. We're going to lower the left knee, click the hands over, and then come up to a fly. So you're going under and up. Breathe into that belly. Three, 2, last one. Take both the weights or just one in the right hand, left hand to the floor. So now you're going to twist. This right hand on the outside. This is a familiar one if you usually practice this class with me. Home, ceiling, home, floor. Move at your own speed with your own breath. Do 2 more. Set those weights down. Last little move of the sequence, we're going to put the left knee on the floor, untuck the toes. Send this right foot to the back of the mat, right arm up. Gazing up, we're landing in a side plank, so either with that left knee down or straighten both legs. We're going to grab the weight or both weights in that right hand, arm is up, dip under, tap that left side, and back up. I love side plank. If you don't, well, I'm sorry. Because we're gonna do like 6 more. Last one. I'm gonna leave my weight over on that left side, come to plank, chaturanga, child's pose, or down dog. Deep breath in, sigh breath out. Couple little moments to wiggle out your down dog and let that go. Okay, I'm warm now. Okay, so same sequence on this left side. Either knees on the floor. If you need to roll your left wrist around, give it a little shake. Either knees on the floor or in down dog. Your weight is in your right hand. You're sending it to that left side. So I'm gonna do it from down dog. I'm lifting from my ankle, about halfway up on my thigh, because that's where my reach is. Yours might be like a centimeter move. You might just hold that weight over towards the left ankle. If you can, you're gazing like past this left armpit and up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna flip that palm. So now my palm is facing outwards on that left side. Same movement, up and down. Deep breathing. Three. Ooh, left arm, 2. 1. Try not to put this left hand on the floor. Coming forward, I'm gonna put my right knee on the floor, lengthen the left one back. Maybe both, or just one weight in that right hand, and we're doing rows with this right hand. Up and down. Option to have those left toes on the floor, or a lifted foot, belly button to spine connection, gazing at the floor in front of that left hand. Probably about 10 more. Three, 2. Last one, okay, left foot's coming forward. I'm gonna give you more of like a cue how to do it. Come up onto the left fingertips, pull this left knee in, and then thread it through and land it on the floor. Come up to low lunge. I'm gonna really scooch my left foot forward, bring my right knee backwards. One weight in each hand, starting with those bicep curl, and a straighten of the left leg. Down, and back up. Right button to spine. Lengthen from the crown of the head down to that tailbone. To make it harder, the elbows could be in line with shoulders. My right knee doesn't love this as much as my left. I could have curled my mat or thrown my sweater underneath my right leg. Let's do a few more here. Last one, coming back down to that lunge. Curl right toes under, lift this knee up off the mat. Palms are facing inwards. Dip that right knee down, come up with that fly. Left leg can straighten or keep a bend in it. Gaze at something on the floor in front of you to help with your balance. Move slowly with control. Five. 3, 2. Last one. I'm gonna grab both the weights in my left hand, right hand on the mat. Staying in your lunge. Left hand on the outside of this left ankle. Home, ceiling, home, floor. Use that breath. I'm gonna drop on my weights. My left hand does not like this as much as my left. My right. Really press that right knee up towards the ceiling. About 3 more. Okay, last piece of this puzzle is that side plank. So we can put the right knee on the floor, left foot back. And if you're doing that right foot, out towards that right side a little bit. Left arm up, with weight or not. Maybe both legs straight. Dip through to that right side and back up. Root down into that right index finger and knuckle. Build 6 more. Three, 2, last one. And set that weight down, bring my knees to the floor, shake out that right wrist, and head back to a well-deserved child's pose. I like palms face up when we've been working on wrists. Wrists in line with knees, rocking. You can let out a deep sigh if you want. Inhale, exhale. Get that breath back so it's steady. If you're here in a closed knee child's pose, option to extend the arms for a moment, just letting the shoulders drop down. Roll back up, come into a kneeling position. So either stay with your kneeling position and grab your weights, and just kind of, so let's do the modified one first. Roll shoulders up, back and down. Just gonna bring the weights up and then back down. Belly button to spine, kind of head over tailbone. You're gonna add the movement with the hips. We're gonna lift the hips as the weights come down and lower to a hover. One nice long line from the crown of the head all the way down to the knees. Belly button to spine connection. Deep, full breaths. We'll bend in both elbows for 4, 3, 2, last one. We're all gonna take those weights down to the floor and come up into a kneeling position. Feet so they're hips distance apart. Bring the left hand down, right arm up towards the ceiling. Press your hips forward, gazing up towards the right hand if you can. And switch to the other side. I always like to kind of roll all the way down, round all the way back up. Press the hips forward, engage the glutes, maybe gazes up, maybe gazes down. From here, we're gonna release and just come down into a seated position. Whew, shake your legs out in front. And let's pull the right foot into the left thigh crease. Inhale, lengthen, get long, look up. Exhale, fold over this left leg. You can tuck your chin in around all the way in because we just did a lovely back bend to counter these forward folds. We're gonna stretch in. Start to release, practice a little bit. We're gonna cool down and stretch now. roll all the way up. And take this right foot over top of the left and twist towards this right side. Which way should I turn for this? Okay, so if you're in your twist towards the right and you've got lots of space, try lifting this left arm up, and then as you twist over towards the right more, lock it down on this left or right thigh as much as you can. Right shoulder rolls up, back and down. If you've still got lots of space, take this left hand, reach in between the legs, and then wrap your right hand around to see if you can grab a hold. Left toes stay flexed, tall spine, deep breaths. Last breath. Release, unwind, take the legs out in front, give them a little shake. Hands behind, interlace them, squeeze the chest up and open, look up. Maybe lift those knuckles away from the lower back for a moment. And then same thing on the other side. Right leg out, left foot to the inner thigh crease of that right side. Lift up on your inhale, forward fold on your exhale. Can round and roll it a little bit. I never get as far on this right side because it's my injured leg. Usually when I practice alone, I hold this one a little bit longer than my other one, or get in there and massage the back of this leg. So if any of that feels good and you want to do it, well, do it. Come all the way back up, take the twist on the other side, left foot up and over. Just hug this left knee in to start and take your twist. Nice, easy, relaxing variation. If you're super warm and you want to take it to that bind, right arm up. Bring it as far down on this left leg as you can. So you might round in to start and then really lengthen your spine. If you've got the space, this right arm goes through this little hole in the legs and this left arm comes around to Oop, not on this side for me, so I'm gonna hold right there today. Some days yes, some days no. You can just like grab a hold of the shirt. That's where I am today. And keep lengthening, flex the right toes towards the face. Last breath. Unwind, shake those legs out in front, roll down to your back. Bring the feet to the floor, open your arms out wide. Just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Move the weights out of the way. Letting the gaze travel in the opposite direction that the knees are flowing. Let your heart rate slow down. Connect into where your body feels tight. Relax. My lower back is clenching a little right now, so I'm going to purposely go a little slower. Try to loosen that up a little bit. So in these Zoom classes, the best thing I can do is just let you know what's going on with me, because I can't see you. So you really have to tune into your own body and do what feels good for you, especially when we're finding these little cool downs. I'm going to suggest ending with a figure four twist, but if there's a different ending pose you're craving, you can go there instead. And I'm suggesting that figure four because my hips still feel a little tight, so I need to stretch them out a bit before I take Shavasana. So I'm going to cross this left ankle over, but unlike the beginning, I'm super warm, so I'm going to shift my hips towards the left and then drop my knees towards this right side. Oh yeah. Then I'm open enough and warm enough to give this left knee a big pull down towards the floor. And then soften. So if you've got one ending pose that isn't twist that you're craving, you can just hold that for the whole time that we are taking twist. If there's anything different you're craving to end with, go ahead. I'm going to take it into a pretzel twist to get into my quads and my hamstrings. So this right foot, if you want to play, I'm going to take a hold of it with my left hand, and then I'm going to drop that towards the floor on the left side. And then I'm going to grab a hold of this left foot with my right hand and start to straighten that out towards the right. Gaze is still over top of the left shoulder, and left shoulder should be on the floor. I always like to grab the top of my toes right here, and that's where my left hand is too. I'm not grabbing the outside, I'm actually grabbing the top of my foot. I'm gonna hold right there and take a few more breaths. Release that shape, pull it back to center. Hips will have to move back to the middle of the mat again, and take my knees to the chest, one hand on each knee, and just rotate around in a couple circles like we did at the beginning to loosen that up. And turn those circles in the opposite direction. Left foot to the floor. If you're coming into that pretzel or the figure 4 twist with me, right ankle and left thigh. Big lift of the hips towards that right side. Oh, yep. Feet towards the left. Right arm out to start, and I'm gonna pull this right foot or right knee down with my left hand. Just take a few breaths to let that loosen up and open. So on this side, I can feel that this is a little bit tighter than the other side, but since I gave the pretzel a try on the other side, I'm gonna go for it here. It might not work out, but I'm gonna lift this left leg, grab a hold of it with my right hand, and like I said on the other side, I'm grabbing the top of my foot, and then I'm gonna try and bring that foot down to the floor. Oh yeah, that's good. This right shoulder shouldn't be lifted. You should be able to lower it down to the mat. Now I know this right leg is a little tighter, but I'm gonna try and grab the outside of my foot. Might not come towards it a full straighten. Yeah, gotta keep a little bend in the knee. That's all right. Gaze is still over that right shoulder. And take a few breaths there. Gently roll around back onto your back. Realign the hips in the middle of the mat. One last time, knees to chest. This time, both hands on each knee, and we'll circle the knees around in the same direction. We're really getting into that sacral massage. My knees are close together, but you could have them a little wider apart. Whatever feels better. And in the opposite direction a few times. If there's any last wiggles or movements that would feel good for you, please take them now. And then let's lengthen the arms and legs and land in our final resting pose for a few moments. Those elbows or shoulders underneath the back. Wiggle around till you find that perfect Shavasana. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it go. Let go of practice, let go of the control in the breath and body. Just be aware of your breath in your body now. Relax your legs. Hips feel heavy. Soft, even breath. Chest relaxed, arms soft. Shoulder blades melting into the mat. Relax every tiny little muscle in your face, cheeks, eyes, forehead, eyebrows, lips, tongue, teeth. Be still, let go. I invite you to stay exactly where you are. I'm going to leave you with the Gayatri Mantra chant today. So just get a little softer if you can in your whole body. Your eyes are closed. Again, I can't see you, but I'm sure you killed it today. So super good job. Take a few more moments in Shavasana, and I'll leave you with this chant. Budvaseva tatsavitu vareniam Bargo devasya dimahi dio yona prachodaya. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me. If you're coming out of practice right now, move slowly. Have an amazing day. Whenever you get out of practice, always give me feedback. I love feedback, especially over Zoom classes because I can't see you. Enjoy your quarantine, bake some bread, and show me some pictures. Namaste.